MOMNation, it's Katie here with this week's Live and Learn, and yes, I'm getting my hair done. What are we doing today, Candace?
Covering up all this wisdom that you got going on.
She calls it wisdom. You are so kind.
It's all the things that your kids give you.
Kids, husband,
Stress,
life, and then
adulting.
some. Adulting. Yeah, that's been interesting lately. So we're here today with the Uncensored Stylist, and I'm super excited because y'all know how much I love her, and she just says it like it is. Do you not?
I do.
Go ahead.
I don't think I have the ability to filter anything in it at this point in life.
My most favorite Candace quote is that she will say things that are sometimes offensive, but always honest. Right? That's one of your quotes, or something.
I don't like people.
Whoops, I was totally getting a call. How uncool of them. Don't they know that I'm live with Candace right now? And they'll feel her wrath.
They will feel the wrath. I'm just going to throat punch them.
Anyways, so Candace has a lot to talk about today, and I'm super excited about this, and as you see, I have no notes. So this is like interview on the fly.
Which is semi-dangerous.
For you or for me?
Both. For everyone. No one's safe.
Nobody is safe here. But anyways, so Candace has been through quite a bit in the last year and a half.
Year and a half. Well, almost a year and a half.
So talk to us about it. So there was a marriage.
There was a marriage. I was married for 7 years. We were together for 9. We had 3 awesome kids that I like to dub the terrorists.
They all look the same.
They do. They're carbon copies of each other and myself, which is good for me because I have them all the time.
There's no denying those children.
No, there's not. And believe me, there's times where I wish I could. But yeah, so back in January of 2017, we just had a huge fight, and he kept throwing around the word divorce. And I've always been a planner, and I'm not one to kind of go with, okay, that's fine, let's do this. And so what I ended up doing was I asked him, I said, all right, if this is, like, you keep saying this, like, walk me through it. And I was just mentally taking notes of what to expect because I knew it wasn't going anywhere. And so he went through finances, he went through things with the house, all that stuff. But the very last thing that he said to me was, I'll write you a check every month and I never want to see you or the kids again.
Ouch.
Yeah. And at that point, I was completely done. Like, shut it off, can't do it. And for our whole relationship, he basically supported me. Like, I paid my car payment, my phone bill, and got to do things on my own. But overall, he paid for the house, he paid for the bills. Like, he was very supportive financially that way. And now I have these 3 kids, and the baby at the time was not even a year.
Yeah.
Let's see, he was born in September, that was January, so like 4 or 5 months old.
So being on your own is scary shit at this point.
Oh yeah, it's like, how am I going to afford things? I only work 1 day a week. Am I going to be supported? You know, I only have my grandma and my mom. Like, I have nobody else as far as family goes. And I have a good friend base, but at the same time, like, friends aren't going to exactly give you a place to live and, you know, bring you and your 3 rotten children in.
Mm-hmm.
So over the course of the next, I think it was like 5-6 months, I started to hoard. I'd buy furniture that we didn't need. I traded my car in for something that was a little bigger and more dependable. And pretty much just started planning, and we continued to grow further and further apart. And the best way to describe it, besides him just not being my favorite person at all, is over the years, I grew into myself, so I became a better version of me. More responsible and whatever.
And with that, probably more confidence. Not
Yeah.
like this girl needs any more confidence, but probably
Right.
more confidence.
My head's as big as my extensions when I blow them out. But with him, he turned into a completely different person. And it wasn't a person that I liked or that jived with what I did. We didn't like the same things. We didn't do anything together. It just wasn't it. My anxiety was super high. He wasn't understanding. And so after pushing him away for so long, on 4th of July, he finally had it, and he said, "That's it, you guys just get out." And the following Friday, I moved me and my 3 children into an apartment, 3-bedroom apartment in Chandler. And I've been doing it up ever since.
And so the business went from, like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I had a salon in downtown Gilbert. It was just a suite that I rented 1 day a week because it was all I could afford. And honestly, it was the only time that I was able to work because of all the kids and lack of babysitting. And I was making it, and I slowly added like a Monday night, because in this industry, like, you can say that you're open 7 days a week, but if you don't have the clients, then you know you might as well not be there.
Right.
So, MOMNation, actually, I started doing a whole bunch of events for this group and started making me a little more popular, and people started referring me a lot more. And I really don't think you can mention hair in this group without hearing my name.
Probably not.
So, I started to grow and grow and grow. And I have a client that runs where I'm at now, and she's like, "Hey, we got a salon. We need someone to own it and run it and do all that jazz." And all right, sign me up. And I looked it up and came in, took a tour, and never looked back. So now I'm up to, I work 2.5 days a week. My grandmother watches my kids while I work. Without that woman, I think I would die. And yeah.
So meanwhile, all this is happening. You move into an apartment, scared shitless, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
who wouldn't be with changes like that? So what ends up happening with the ex? Like, how did we get to the divorce point? Like, did you guys get attorneys? What did you guys do?
So, we were in no rush to actually get a divorce. So, for the longest time, he actually wanted to reconcile. And I was done. Like, I'm the type of person that when I'm done, I turn it off. Like, there's no going back. And I knew, especially based off of our history, that he might be good now. He might be doing these changes that I needed and that I wanted. But how long is that going to last?
Right.
And my biggest thought were the kids. It wasn't me, because I did love him. I still do. He's, you know, like, there's a reason why we decided to start and make this life together. But I really thought about my kids, and my biggest thought was they're young. They're young now, and if we do this now, then it's going to be their norm. You know, they're not going to have memories of us together and fighting and not getting along. All they're going to remember is, I have a happy home with mom, I get to go do fun things with dad, and that's it.
Which is awesome. And if I may interject here real quick, I know I'm flip-flopping, but you actually have a really cool relationship with your ex. Like, he comes over for birthday parties and shit like that. So talk a little bit about that, because I know that there's a lot of moms in the group that hope to have, if they're, you know, going through this, the whole big D right now, hope to have that kind of thing. And there are some single moms out there that wish they had that kind of thing.
Yeah, so the co-parenting thing, here's the thing, is that you guys were shitty to each other, and him and I said awful fucking things to one another. Like, it was bad. But the kids didn't do that.
Right.
And that's the one thing that we had in common that was good. Despite what he said back in January, like, he is a good dad, and he never wanted that. It was just full of anger and emotion, and, you know, like, essentially his life was falling apart. He's losing me, he's losing his kids, and he knows damn well that I wasn't fucking around either.
Right.
So, I told him, I said, I never want to make anything hard for you. I always want to see your kids. I'm never going to keep them from you. And so anything that you need or that I can do to make that work is fine. And the biggest piece of advice that I can give anyone is listen to your friends, but fuck them at the same time. Because if I listened to my friends, I would have taken him to the cleaners. Because, you know, he was an asshole to me. I would have taken his 401k and his stock options and all that stuff. And And I want that because I had this mindset that the better he is, the happier he is in this life after our marriage, the more present he's going to be for our kids, the less animosity he's going to have towards me, the more favors that I can call in and ask that he's going to be, that he's going to do. So I guess a sense of manipulation.
Not really, though. I mean, it's putting your kids first. It's not about you guys anymore.
Right.
You guys are done. You agreed to end it. It's not about you anymore. What's done is done. What's said is said. And now you have these 3 beautiful terrorists.
They are terrorists.
To raise. And you gotta look at them first. You gotta look at their needs and wants first. So I can totally understand why you did what you did. I mean, what's the point of you having a couple of extra bucks in your pocket, but them not having a dad?
Right.
Or you having a really shitty relationship with their dad. I love that he comes over for birthday parties and stuff like that.
In fact, he has a key to my house.
See?
And he has a key to my house because his current situation, he doesn't have a place to really take them because they're young and they get into fucking everything. Like, his place isn't kid proof and they're comfortable at my home. That's their home.
Mm-hmm.
So by him having a key, if whenever he has them and they're out and about and someone gets sick or something's wrong, then he can come back to my house and they're comfortable and he doesn't have to worry and
Everything's there.
everything's there that he needs, even though he bitches about that sometimes. It's frustrating finding things in your house. Well, maybe it's because you're a man and you don't fucking look.
Exactly.
So, overall, like, I told him when I moved out, I said it's going to be rough for a little bit. My ultimate goal is that we're both going to be standing on the sidelines, giving each other high fives when our kids do something great. And so far, that's working. And I think it's just by being open and understanding to, each other's new life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't know a lot about mine. I don't know a lot about his, but, we keep conversations straight about the kids, and very rarely do we share anything personal because there are still feelings there,
Mm-hmm.
and if I know that he's off with his girlfriend having all this fun and doing all these things, it's the first thing you're going to think about as a woman.
Right.
Well, you never did that shit with
For me, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and don't get me wrong, I was a little shitty one time.
Well, maybe once or twice it's okay, right?
But consistent, like, you do it when it's needed. And otherwise, it's the biggest battle. And I think the way that I get through having the business, being a single mom, doing all this shit, and not losing my ever-loving mind is you don't have a choice. Like, I always thought about it that way. Like, how do you have 3 kids? So my kids are 4, 3, and 2. Woo! Like, I just got that shit over with. And they're like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? And I usually reply with, like, I drink a lot. But honestly, it's like, I don't know any different. I don't know how to not have kids that close in age. You just deal with it, you move on, and, like, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice but to come to work and make money and support these kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a choice but to try and make my career and myself better so they have the life that they need and deserve.
Mm-hmm. So talk to me about again, love the fact that you guys are buddies. You had that conversation. Sounds like you kind of laid it out for him. He agreed. So what happened when the girlfriend came along? What were the initial feelings and reactions?
So my biggest, I know when you're done with someone is when you can understand that they're with someone else and not care. At least not about that.
Mm-hmm.
So my biggest thing was, I need you to make sure that you're stable in your relationship before you start bringing all these chicks around my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about women is that everyone's got an opinion. And I'm your new love of your life, whether if they understand about kids or whatever the case may be. So my biggest fear was she's going to start getting in his ear and saying, well, you need to do this and you need to do that and blah, 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 blah. And I told him, I said, I want to meet her before I meet the kids.
Before she meets the kids.
Yeah, I want to meet her before she meets the kids.
Fair.
And he was totally fine with that. And we met up for coffee. And I looked amazing.
Of course.
I had my extensions. I didn't have my extensions. I did my hair. I wore like this nice dress. I'm in heels. I'm in my body shaper, so I'm looking good. And I'm feeling confident. Like, I'm talking myself up.
Like, I'm hot.
There. Yeah. Like, come at me. And we get there, and so my ex-husband's girlfriend is a very, very sweet lady. You met her.
Mm-hmm.
She's very nice. She's pleasant to talk to. She loves my kids. Like, I have nothing bad to say about her. But just like me, the overall perception of her can be skewed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's got dreads and she's got tattoos and she wears dark eyeliner and she, you know, like, even I was like, really? This is what we're going with?
You were judging the book by the cover.
I was judging the book by the cover. And so, I sat down, and before we got there, Craig asked, he's like, what's your intention? Like, what are you going to do? And I think he was slightly scared about what I was going to say. And I said, I really just want her to see that I'm present and that we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I'm here and I'm real, and I'm not going to allow anything to happen to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I can get that point across, I don't give a fuck what she does.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been extremely fortunate that he chose to get down with her instead of, you know, some prissy bitch from Scottsdale or something.
Or
no
something.
offense, Scottsdale people.
Well, they're not prissy in this group anyway.
Right?
So, does she have any kids?
She does not. She doesn't have any kids. She's never really been around kids. And, like, I don't think she has even, like, siblings or siblings with children. It's mainly, like, friends with kids. And that was one of the things I asked her. I'm like, you've never been around kids and you're just about to go, like, in the Thunderdome.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I'm just here to have fun with them. Fuck, perfect answer.
Awesome. So how did she receive you? How did that conversation go? Was she, like, nervous at first?
So it's actually kind of funny because she came off super bitchy. Like, she came off standoffish, and I'm like, all right, so we're going to fight today. Awesome. And as the coffee hit her and as she woke up, she was fine. And over this past year, they've been together almost a year now. And over this past year, I've learned that she's just not a morning person. We were meeting at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And
Hey,
so I'm like,
some people are like that.
she was just not awake. But yeah, I asked, because he always asked, like, so what did she think of me?
Mm-hmm.
And that got a little crazy. And he said, she thinks that you're very beautiful. Like, fuck, of course she does.
Well, duh.
Do you know how long it
And
took me to
besides
get
that-
ready this morning? She better fucking compliment me. But, yeah, I think that we just have a mutual respect because we all know that we have the best interest for the kids in mind.
Does she discipline them at all, or how does that all go? Does she leave that to Craig?
Yeah, so the biggest thing between us, and so Craig also had older kids, so I was a stepmom.
Right.
And I think, so what we had kind of worked, but they were much older. You know, they were 9 and 14 when I came into their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, they have a mom. Well, each of them had a mom because I, pick winners. And each of them had a mom. Like, I'm just there to have fun with them. But it was how Craig dealt with their moms is what pissed me off. I'm like, if you don't take a handle on this now, like, these kids are going to be assholes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my biggest struggle with that. And I talked to his girlfriend. I said, discipline isn't really your area. If something that needs to happen or needs to talk, something needs to be addressed, that's Craig's thing. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's like immediate danger, like use your best judgment.
Right.
But you can't be handing out, anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, she's been really good. And I talk to the kids every time. So did you have fun? What did you do? And they tell me.
And they'll tell you, I'm
ask
sure.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because my biggest goal with my kids is that I'm the person they can tell anything to.
Right.
I'm going to give them that advice, and I'm going to I'm not their friend, I'm their parent.
Right.
But they also need to have that confidence and the comfort to be able to tell me anything.
Right. So, do you still have relationships with your stepchildren?
So not really.
Because they were a little older when you came onto the scene.
They were older. I mean, I had a great relationship with my stepson and his new wife and everything. But when the divorce happened, Craig was extremely hurt, mm-hmm. and that's their dad. Mm-hmm. They don't want to see him hurt, and they don't want to do that. So they kind of just sided with him. And so I kept in touch with my stepson's wife, and I talk to her every so often, and all that. They both came to Rodin's birthday party.
Nice.
And you could tell that they were slightly uneasy, and I'm just like, I'm just happy you guys are here. So Craig's mom is not my favorite person. She's not. Like, that was one of the best gifts of a divorce right there. So I don't have to deal with this crazy lady.
Peace out on her.
Yeah. But because it's important for my kids to have their grandchildren, or grandmother in their life, they live in California. So I told her, I said, if having a place to stay is hindering you from being here for these things, you're welcome to stay in my house. So it's really just stepping up and being the bigger person and biting your tongue.
So your ex-mother-in-law stayed at your house? Did she take you up on it?
Not yet. I've been not yet. But the offer's out
You're
there.
like, please don't, but you can.
Yeah. Like, I appreciate.
Moral of the story is that you're putting your children first.
Yeah.
And it's less about you and it's more about them.
Right. Because if you make it about yourself, all you're going to have is issues.
Right.
Because, and I know this for a fact, because I put myself first in everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got all, like, my kids are number one, but my biggest struggle right now is that I have an awesome life, and I'd like it to share it with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's putting myself out there and me first, and that's causing a shit ton of issues.
So talk to me about dating.
Fuck dating. I can say that.
Like, I can't actually imagine.
Yeah.
Like, hitting the dating scene after how long you were together? 7, 8, 9 years, something like that?
9 years. We were together 9 years, and it was, like, dating was off, and Craig fell into my lap. Like, he walked in.
I know that story. You gotta tell that story.
Oh, no.
The abridged version.
Okay, so I was working in a bar. He thought I was a lesbian because I looked pretty rough. No offense to anyone. It's just I was wearing guy sticky pants and like a wife beater shirt. I had hair this long. It was jet black. And I have this mentality. So I'm aggressive. And he's like, so what do you think about gay marriage? I'm like, I'm not gay. I'm like, perfect. We're going to get along just fine. And that's pretty much it. I had a cat in my purse. Someone rescued a kitten outside of the bar, and I couldn't leave it out there, so I just put it in my purse. I had my hand in my purse the whole time, petting this fucking kitten. And,
Wasn't your first date breakfast, and didn't he stand you up?
no, I stood him up. He asked me for breakfast. He's like, do you like breakfast? I love breakfast. And I hate it. I don't like making it. I don't like eating it. I don't like anything. And, so Monday rolls around, and I said, I'm looking at myself. Now I look decent. I look like myself. And I can't remember this guy's name. Barely remember what he looks like. I don't remember what he drove. I'm like, I'm not getting fucking stood up. So I went and got a coffee, a New York Times, and I went into work early and started cleaning the bar. And about an hour and a half later, this tall piece of shit walks in. He's like, you stood me up. I'm like, no, I didn't.
That wasn't
No,
me.
I didn't. I went, where were you? You stood me up. I had breakfast by myself, too. And so for about 3 months, I had him convinced that we just went to the wrong Denny's. And then I came clean. I'm like, no. I was afraid you weren't going to show up.
It's hilarious. So now you don't work in a bar.
No. Well, I kind of do.
So how are we meeting our dudes now?
You know, so it's window shopping. That's what dating has come to.
Swipe
now.
left or right?
It's swipe city. So in fact, if you are one of my clients, I will hand you my phone and you can swipe for me.
Oh, rad.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Okay.
When we're done here.
Perfect.
I'll swipe.
Yeah, and it's great because they're like, no, we don't like this guy. And they tell me, like, you don't like this guy because of this. I'm like, but he's kind of cute. No, he doesn't like dogs. Okay, sorry.
I get it.
Fuck this guy.
If you don't like dogs, I don't know.
Right. So I've been on dating apps and they're absolutely awful because it's superficial. Like, you have this like short little bio, and then you have to match, and then you have to start with small talk, and then you have to have the balls to like say something.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. It's literally window shopping. It's like, yeah, I like that. Maybe I'll buy it, but I'm gonna put it in my cart and see if there's something else out there
That I
that's
like
better. Right. And then eventually you just kind of put them all back at the cashier stand.
In the wrong places.
In the wrong
but that's
places.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of still have, because I know you, I know this, so you kind of still have the same stance as you had with Craig, is, hey, I got to know these people that I'm dating a little bit or a lot of it before I introduce them to the terrorists.
So, I was in a recent relationship that lasted a year, and I talked to him every single day. I had a really, really deep connection with the person that I thought he was, and it took 6 months for me to say, hey, you want to see the kids? Or meet them, and we just went from there. But that was kind of a different situation because it was long distance.
Yeah,
but
right.
Now I got to make sure. Like, I have to, because when I was a kid growing up, my mom, she was a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
and she was not a very good single mom. But she always was focused on finding love. She was always focused on finding a man, and I felt that as a kid. It's like I was second,
Mm-hmm.
and it really, really sucked. So, the last thing I want to do is have this revolving door of men coming in and out of my kids' lives.
Right.
Because my kids, like, even though they're assholes most of the time, they're extremely loving, and they get attached. And I don't want to have to take that person away from them because I don't get along with them.
Right.
So, and they're a direct reflection of me, which is why they're jerks. But they're a direct reflection.
But they're lovable.
They're lovable. Very lovable. If you have a single hot guy that you know,
Swipe right.
available.
Or, right.
Yeah. So I feel like if you get to know me, like, I'm going to tell you about him. I'm going to show you pictures of him. You're just not going to be able to play catch with Asher for a little bit.
He'd probably
Like,
kick your ass anyway.
Yeah, no, that's Vivian. Vivian will straight up cut somebody.
I meant at baseball.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, Asher, that kid's got an arm on him.
Yeah, he does.
It's fantastic.
And Vivi's just a whole other ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of went through the dating scene. It's a little weird getting back into it after all this time, and running a business solo, and being a mom of 3 terrorists solo. Because you have full custody.
I have sole custody, yeah.
So that's cool or not cool? Like, how do you feel about that?
So the way that conversation happened, I remember it. It was in my kitchen at the apartment, and the house was selling thanks to an awesome realtor that we know.
Thank you.
The house sold, and he was moving in with his girlfriend, and she's got this super small condo, and there's just no space for the kids, and so he wasn't going to be taking them overnight anymore. And I needed the child support in order to survive,
Mm-hmm.
so he couldn't take them more days or anything like that. So he said, I'll just take them Sundays, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. That equates to 72 days a year, because I'm going to take them for 5 days every school break, and he gets them Labor Day, which is, I don't understand why he chose that one, and Father's Day. It's the only holidays he gets.
And when he goes and takes them for days, he goes to California.
Yeah, so when he has them overnight, then he takes them to his mom's in California, which is another reason why I was fucking nice, and if she wants to come and stay at my house, because she houses my kids for me. And so I told him, I said, if you're not going to be around, and given the things that you've said in the past, I don't want to have this divorce decree saying that you have all of these rights when you're not around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have them 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be making 99% of the decisions, and I don't want to talk to you that much. When it comes to their school, when it comes to work, when it comes to medical things, I don't want to have to worry about getting a hold of you because now you have this fun, free life and you're fucking hiking somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to think about it, and then he came back to me with, there's another dick thing that he said was, you can have sole custody on the premise that I never have them overnight again.
Ever, even in California?
No, like when he starts taking them more days, he'll never take them overnight again. I'm like, fine by me.
Whatever.
Doing me a favor, bro.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened. And it's nice for me because like Ronan had some health issues and he was in the ER and everything, and I didn't have to wait for him to get there.
You can make all the decisions.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's a very rare thing. Like, he gave that to me. I didn't fight for it. Like, we had a lawyer draw up the paperwork, but we were in agreement to everything prior. Like, all we did is say, this is what needs to be in there. We proofread it, and that was it.
See, that's kind of nice. So a lot of people don't know this, but before my son's father came along, I was married to another man, and we didn't have any children. We had a couple of assets, nothing crazy, and that's what we did. Is we just sat down and we just made all these decisions and just had somebody draw it up, and we signed it, and bada boom bing, that was it.
Right.
So it wasn't this massive fighting, this back and forth. Kind of cool that you didn't have to experience that either, because that's really shitty.
Yeah, it's not fun, and you know, most divorces, I mean, I deal with women all day, all the time. I've heard.
So you know we cray.
Yeah, I know the shitty divorces that are going on, and just the fighting and the animosity, and a lot of the time, from what I can gather, is it's egos, and it's just hurt feelings, and so it's like, I don't understand how two people that once loved each other enough to
make babies,
get married, share it with your family, go on vacations, like, you had fucking good times together. Why does none of that matter? Now you're not working. Now you don't want it, and that's fine. You need to get to that acceptance point before you really start going legal with it. Because if you're sitting there and you're just pissed off and angry, and he cheated, or she's a bitch, or blah, 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 and she wants this, like, just be adults.
You're never going to get anywhere, too. It's like this circle that you just keep attacking and keep getting revenge.
Right.
And
because once that's over, what are you left with? More anger and more bullshit. Like, there's no resolve. Like, you have this definitive paperwork that says that you're done, but you're really not. So you have to get to that point where both of you are in agreement. Like, yeah, this isn't going to work. I don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. We're done. And that's when I think it's the easiest. Because Craig and I went through that period. We went to counseling. Like, I told him, like, I didn't hold back on anything. So everyone knows I don't hold back. When it came to Craig...
Not, they know now.
Right. When it came to Craig, I did. I sugar-coated everything. I backstepped. I did everything I could because I never wanted to escalate a situation. It was already bad. I didn't want to make it worse. And so I kept a lot of shit in, and which made it build up, which caused more problems. And it wasn't healthy. And so when I started voicing exactly how I felt, he was able to understand a little more why I was feeling the way I was. It didn't change anything. He was like, I see why you're an asshole now.
So I love that, and I'm going to pause you for just a second here, because I feel like, you know, counselors and therapy and all of that has like this weird thing about it, like this weird air about it. Like, people look at it like, you're sick, you're crazy, you're this, you're admitting to things, all of that. And it's really not the case. What the fact of the matter is that we all communicate differently. Different levels, and different things mean more to us versus what they might mean to our partner. So what a counselor is going to be able to do, or a good one, is bring you together on the same playing field. This is what this one's saying, this is what this one's saying, and then usually, I would be willing to bet that 99.9% of fights are miscommunications.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, so the way that I fight, you know how you're having a discussion that's not going well with someone, and it's done, it's over with, and then later on when you're taking a shower, you have that fight over again in your head, and you're like, I should have said this, yeah, I say everything that you would say in the shower
right up front.
And, you know, my ex was the type of guy where he'd go into his man cave. Not a literal man cave, like in his head man cave, because he had tools from these, you know. Anyways,
he's a little older than Candace.
Yeah.
He lived a little bit more life.
Yeah. And so he would need a day or two so he could collect his thoughts and come back with something that was, you know, like on track, and this is what I want to say, and blah, blah, blah. And no, I want this resolved now because I want to have a better fucking day tomorrow.
Right.
Like, I'm just going to stew and keep going and boil over And, you know, we never learned how to meet in the middle on that. Ever.
Mhm.
Like, okay, let me yell at you and then you go think about it. Let me get my anger out and you go think about it.
And then
never
you're
like that.
pissed that he's going to go think about it, and so it just prolongs the
Yeah.
whole situation.
Yeah, it's awful.
So I gotta love counseling, I have to tell you, because it's really, really helpful. And again, I think a lot of people think of it in a negative manner, and it's probably the most positive thing you can do for your relationship. Whether your
yeah.
relationship is, whether you're staying together or you now have a relationship simply because your parents are the terrorists.
Right.
So that is a relationship, right?
Yeah. So I have a friend who is going through a divorce, and she had a boyfriend for a little bit, and the boyfriend didn't like the ex-husband. And he's like, don't do that. Like, pretty much what some women do to men. Like, no, you take this, and you ask for that, and you don't, just inner ear, and, he needs to fucking go away, and all this crap. And I looked at her and I said, who's going to be around longer? Who can you guarantee that's going to be around longer after this is said and done?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, your father of your children, like, even after they're 18, that's when the legal obligation ends.
Right. It's forever.
But you got
Weddings,
yeah,
babies,
everything that's big. Like, do you want to put your kids in that situation where it's either or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we're going to invite mom to Thanksgiving, but we're going to invite dad to Christmas.
Right.
Or we're going to go to, because you guys can't stand each other, so you can't stay in the same room. It's terrible.
It is terrible. So your future, well, we never know what's going to happen in the future, but
Yeah.
you're setting yourself up to have a more pleasant future for not only you guys, so it's not super uncomfortable in the
Right.
room when you're there at Asher's wedding, but
Yeah.
for them too.
Oh, yeah. So they were at Ronan's party. They're going to be there at Asher's birthday party. I invited them to Thanksgiving.
Nice.
They're not coming because they don't like good food. And then...
Who doesn't?
And then, Christmas, like, they have an open invitation to anything big for the kids.
That's awesome. So take me through a day in the life of Candace, single mom in it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pick a good day.
A good day. We'll go with Mondays then. Mondays are the best day of the week. So on a typical Monday, we wake up. I give the kids cereal. I check my emails, my text messages, Facebook.
Get the business shit out of the way
Get the
real
business
quick.
shit out of the way for just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
In reality. And then we get in the car. We go get coffee. I get them. I get my coffee, and then I get them a grande vanilla bean frappuccino split into 3 tall cups. And it's genius. And they call it white coffee. So we go get white coffee. And then we go get donuts. And then we go to the bank. And then we go to another bank. And then we go just any errands that we need to do. We come home, we have lunch, they go to school, baby goes down for a nap, they wake up. Sometimes we'll go to the park. It depends on how I feel. I may or may not take a nap with the baby. Otherwise, I use that time to catch up on work or clean the house, which is a never-ending job.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have dinner and we watch movies and we go to sleep, play in the backyard. On Wednesdays, my grandma comes over. And once she comes over, I go do all the errands that are quick, like...
And not kid-friendly.
Everything could be kid-friendly. It's just, do you know how long it takes to buckle and unbuckle 3 kids in fucking car seats?
It takes a long time to do one.
Yeah, it's not fun. So if it's something that I just have to run in and grab and then run back out, my ass will wait till Wednesday or after work Thursday. And so I go and do those errands, and I try and do something for myself, whether if it's go have a drink with a friend or just go to dinner by myself. Last night I went to a movie. And then I come home. Thursday, Friday, I work literally all day. And then we gotta rinse the house in 7 minutes.
Okay, we got 7 minutes.
We got
people.
7 minutes. And then Thursday nights, I've been known to, like, if I've had a really shitty week, and this past month and a half has been extremely rough, and I haven't had this night yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a feeling that tonight's going to be white girl wasted night.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy, we're going to have to do live again tomorrow. I'll come and see you at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll see how you're feeling,
Ooh.
Candace.
You know, even though I'm getting older, I can still, I still got it.
Oh, you still got a lot left in you. So what I'm hearing is the key to single momming it, okay? Like a rock star. Organization.
Mm-hmm.
Planning.
Organization, planning, and honestly, you have to have the mentality that you don't have another choice.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can sit and you can sulk and you can let your house get to shit and you can let your, laundry pile up and you can let your kids' diapers get full and you can order out food all you want, but it's not going to do anything to enrich your life, your kids' life, and if that's what you're happy with, fine. Your kids are going to be not happy when they're adults.
Well, and it probably isn't what you're happy with to let all those things slide.
Yeah.
So what does that do? That puts you into a cycle. You're just going to get more depressed, more upset, more depressed, more upset, right?
Yeah.
So taking charge, being organized, planning, and then I also heard something really important in what you said, and that's taking some time for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Even moms that are not single moms,
oh
that's
my gosh,
really important.
I hear that all the time. They're like, I don't get my hair done ever because I don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, you need to.
Yeah.
So they say, what is it? What's that shit ass line? Happy spouse, happy house.
Something like that.
No, it's happy wife, happy life.
There we go.
And it's because so I have, see my chess piece right here? It's a chess piece with wings, and it's a queen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because without the queen, fucking game's over.
It is.
So if you're not happy and you're not in a good place, everything around you is going to be affected. So the more you give of yourself and the less you have to be happy for, everyone loves to look at their kids when they're sleeping at night and be like, I did good today.
I killed it.
We made it through the day. They're alive. I'm still semi-sane. But at the same time, when's the last time you actually got to go out with a friend by yourself and didn't have to come home at a certain time? Or worry about pickup? Or, I have all this other stuff to do. Because I'm fast at what I do. And women will come in here and oh, wow, I'm done an hour earlier than what I thought. I don't know what to do. Why don't you go to Target and get what you want? Mm-hmm. Or why don't you just go sit somewhere
quiet
silence
with a book or something
that you want to go grab a fucking drink.
Mm-hmm.
Just do anything for yourself because you're important. And even if you're even if you're older and your kids are gone, it's still time for yourself. Everyone needs that little bit.
Absolutely. So we're running out of time because she's got to rinse me. So we didn't get to talk about kitchen hair. If anybody has any questions and is like, what the hell is kitchen hair? Comment below, and Candace will hop on here a little bit later when she's done with this mess, and she will do kitchen hair. Tell about kitchen hair.
I can sum it up pretty quick. We got 3 minutes. It'll take me a minute.
Okay, and at the end, give your contact info so these girls can find you.
Yeah, so kitchen hair is when you go to your friend's house or your neighbor's who says that they've been doing hair forever and they get their shit at Sally's. And you're like, oh yeah, I can do that picture on Pinterest that's photoshopped and has great lighting. Let's bring it. And then you end up with your ends fried, a shit-ass cut because they have salon chairs and mirrors for a fucking reason. Mm-hmm. It's because they're tools that stylists need to make sure that things are even, saturated, all that good stuff. There's
good lighting.
Good lighting. I have my nice little seat right here because...
do that again.
Yeah. But, because it keeps me eye level with hair. There's things that you need that aren't in a kitchen. Mm-hmm. So, kitchen hair is...
bad.
Just awful.
Stay away from the kitchen hair.
Absolutely awful.
All right, now where can they find you?
So, you can go to my page, The Uncensored Stylist. You can book with me. In fact, if you message my page, I have an automatic response that says, hey, I'm not going to get this right away. Just go book your own appointment.
Are there any F words in it?
There's not, but there will be.
All right, sweet.
Yeah. I have over 600 followers now, and I drop the word fuck every day, and I'm like, I can do this now.
You can.
I'm free. So, the uncensoredstylist.life is my booking, and you can see my availability, you can see pricing, you can see how long you're going to be here, all the jazz. And if you're looking for a certain day or a certain time and it's not available, then text me and I can see what I can do and squeeze you in. because my system is not quite as smart as I am.
Who is?
Right.
Or what is, I
What
should
is.
say. So this is Candace. If you didn't know her, you know her now. She's one of my favorite people, and she's gonna take away the gray. So we gotta go. Bye bye, Mom Nation.
Bye.